All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kineo's office hours. We're glad you were able to come to today's presentation. Let me start by introducing myself. My name is Tammy Belgard, and I'm a platform consultant for Kineo. I assist clients with their implementation and training, but today I'm your presenter for office hours. I will give you a brief background on what office hours are. I know a lot of you attend regularly. Office hours start with a 15-minute presentation on a Totara feature or plugin, followed by a 45-minute open floor discussion where I can take questions and discussions with attending clients. Now, the 45-minute discussion is only for Kineo clients, but the 15-minute presentation will be made available for anyone that would like to watch it on YouTube. Today we're going to discuss the newly released version of Totara 9. It's so newly released, it was actually just released this past Tuesday. And there's a lot of buzz about Totara 9, and we're going to give you a sneak preview and take a high-level view of the release. So today we're going to discuss what some of the big changes are with going to Totara 9, some of the changes that you're going to see for face-to-face and other enhancements. We have documentation that is just beginning to come available, and that's going to be on the community Totara site, and I can put this link in there for you to follow, and that'll give you some more information that we don't cover. We're not going to cover all the highlights today, but this is just going to be a brief overview. So let's go in and start taking a look at Totara 9. So when we start with Totara 9, I want to give a disclaimer with this at the beginning. And basically it's this. This presentation is not a recommendation to go and ask for an upgrade. There are 4 things that you need to consider when looking at upgrading. First of all, if you are a customized site, your customization will have to be evaluated before you upgrade. Typically, customizations do not just move forward. They have to be redesigned. So that's something you have to keep in mind. If you're using non-standard plugins, they will need to be evaluated for functionality with Totara 9. They don't always just move forward either. Third, if you're using Kineo plugins that are non-standard, they as well will have to be evaluated and upgraded for the new release of Totara. Since Totara 9 has just been released, none of the evaluations for these additional plugins have actually been done yet. So we are just at the very onset of this new release. And the very last thing I want to say as far as disclaimer is typically we like to, check and test these new releases out thoroughly, approximately a couple of months beforehand, to make sure that we get most of the kinks out of it. So we don't recommend you go to Totara 9 right away. We want to ensure that our clients are always on a stable version of Totara. Having said that, it's really important that you get an opportunity to see what's coming down the road with Totara 9. So let's find out what all the buzz is about. This actually with Totara 9 changes the way Totara has built its past versions of Totara. This particular version of Totara is making that change. For Totara 9, what they've done is they've taken Moodle 3 and they've made that part of the core code of Totara 9. Okay, so it's been integrated. Whereas in the past, I know that with training and different things that you've read, you've always seen that Totara was built on top of Moodle. So what does that mean? In the past one, let's say 2.7, you have Moodle 2.7 and then Totara 2.7 was put on top of that. You have Moodle 2.9, you have Totara 2.9 put on top of that. With Totara 9 being integrated, we no longer will be pulling in the Moodle code, but we'll be making that code part of the evolution of Totara itself. So getting the whole concept of this my mind wrapped around there, this took a little bit of time, and I'm sure it'll continue to become more clear. But I think that the advantages that we're going to see with this is that starting with Totara 9, when a fix comes, or if we make a fix to the core code that was before part of Moodle, we would offer it to Moodle as far as being offered to the core code so that it can be fixed there. That doesn't necessarily always happen. But within Totara, when we make those changes and put those fixes out to the Totara world, we're a Totara partner. So what that means is we can have more say over how that gets into the core code, which makes it much better in the future. We can also continue to enhance that code to make it more functional with the Totara vision, and it will be maintained by the Totara community. So this is all very exciting as we go forward. So that's the brief overview of Totara 9. Let's take a look at what some of those changes are. I think the most remarkable one that you're going to find is with face-to-face. Face-to-face is now going to become, it's called seminars. It's no longer even going to be called face-to-face because they've made it such a premium for Totara. So these are the changes, some of the changes that you will see with face-to-face. The name is Seminar. It has now changed its location even within the site administration. So if you go down to site administration, it's at the same level that we see our users, our hierarchies, learning plans, and so forth. There are seminars. So on a site level, this is where you will see the changes that you make for seminar. You also have the ability to see these seminars on a site level, so I can view all of those. Now, I think it's going to take a while for us to truly be able to learn how to say seminars and event instead of face-to-face and sessions. And that's the other change. It's no longer called sessions, it's called events. So these are the changes that you're going to see with face-to-face or seminars in version 9. There's going to be searchable events at a site level. There's additional custom fields that have been added to the seminar report, which is really going to be nice. There's a new interface for bulk upload and removal of users from seminars, so you can add them in a bulk format. They've also added a sign-up sheet that can be downloaded, and you can include custom fields with that. There's an attendees tab with embedded reports that are now editable. They even have a sign-up period so that you can set when they can sign up and when sign-up is closed for particular seminar events. They've added what's called assets, so things like projectors, sound system, laptops, they can be checked out for an event. Just like you could choose a room and reserve a room for sessions, you can now reserve assets for that. Rooms also can be assigned to individual events. I'm going to use that interchangeably with sessions. So this is what it means. So if you have a multi-day seminar, Monday might have room A reserved, but on Tuesday you need to change it to room B. You can do that now. So you can have changes within the rooms on the same seminar for different events. They've also made it through that notifications, so when a notification for a multi-event goes out, that it only puts the date, the starting date, as the latest one. So if your session started on Monday through Friday, on Tuesday, you can send out a notification that on Wednesday through Friday, these are the events that are left. So you have a lot more ease with the type of notifications you send out. One other thing that I want to mention when it comes to seminars is the new approval options. They've added 3 new approval options. You have a role approval where you can set up a role that has the capabilities and the permission set. You add people to that and they're the ones who can approve whether someone can enroll in a seminar. Another one is manager and administration approval, so it requires both of those. And they've also got a new one that's called User Select Manager. So basically you can have a list of managers and they can choose which manager has to approve their enrollment. So that is all the new things that are coming with the new seminars or / face-to-face. There's changes within themes, but our theme designers will, I'm sure, implement these for you and you won't have to worry about them. There's new Bootstrap 3 that can be applied and new font icons. There's also 2 new blocks that are coming out with the Totara 9, and I'm going to show you what these are. The first one is current learning, and this is going to be similar to Kineo's My Learning, I think. Basically, you can list the current learning that you're in. It doesn't show your completed learning, it just shows your current learning. They also have one here, and I really think this is kind of nice, is the last course accessed. So basically, whatever course you were enrolled in or using last, you can click on that and go right back into that class. So that's a really nice one. The other thing I want to highlight is question types. Now if you're using the Totara quiz For evaluations, here's some of the things that you can do. There's now 4 new question types that are available, and they're really good ones. You have the drag and drop into text. So basically you can take missing words and you can drag and drop them into the text that you have. You have drag and drop markers. So basically you have a background image and you can drag a marker into the different locations for your answers. You have drag and drop into image. Basically you can have an image background or have an images and then you drop it into that. Again, it's very similar to the drag and drop markers. And then the last new one that they have, it's select missing words. Now you could do this one within the closed question type, but now you don't have to do any coding. You have missing words into the question type and they're just through a drop-down menu. Okay, there's also this called New Location Custom Field. Now basically what this does is it allows for an address and you can optionally display a map with a pinpoint location, much of what you've seen with the Google Maps. In fact, it integrates with Google Maps API. So there's some of that capability now, but they've added some new settings for you to do, and that's located here at the location settings. So if you go down under location settings, there's the Google Map. You have to have the JavaScript API key, but now they have a regional bias, force map language, and default zone level that can be set so that we have that map. Here's some additional features that are available. We have, now you can set job assignments on the user profile, but you can have multiple job assignments, not just one. So that helps with audiences and reporting in different things. You also have under audiences, they no longer have visible learning available on a tab, but under learning plan, you can now check mark for dynamic creation of learning plans based on audiences. So this is a new feature. Under programs, the changes are there's no setting management, but they've added to programs where you have the option to choose all courses are optional. The other things that they've done is there's the all blocks on the profile page. What they've done is when you click on the profile page, before you'd have to click on preference and then you could see your manager, you could see your position and stuff. Now all of that should be on your landing page for your profile. So they've made it much easier to access the information. And now the ability, if you're using messages, the users can have the ability to delete messages. Now what I've done here is I've given you the highlight of what's available in Totara 9. There are still much more. There's a lot of things on the back side that have been improved. Accessibility has been upgraded quite a bit by changes that they've done to the HTML tables. There's a lot of background stuff done to increase security and so forth. So as we're starting to go through this and starting to see all the new features available, we're excited about the changes that are going forward with Totara. And we just hope that today you've got an idea of what's coming and the changes with Totara 9, and I just really appreciate that you were able to join us today for this demonstration, this overview. That pretty much concludes what we have for Totara 9, and so what we're going to do now is we're going to go into the question and answer time. Okay? Thank you for joining today. If you have questions, just hang on the line for just a minute.